Yeah, letter L and the number 7. Weenie.
Huh?
Never mind, it's a movie quote.
What was it?
I don't remember the movie, I just remember the quote.
L7
weenie.
L7 weenie.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yes.
No, I don't.
Yes.
Let's get to our patrons.
So today's episode is brought to you by 6 active duty patrons. Active patrons. Patrons of active.
Yes, active patrons.
Active patrons.
First up is Cindy Meyer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those that know her like to call her Hanger Mom. We have Corey R. Atkins. Don't ask, so I guess,
Don't tell who.
we're not supposed to know your name.
Except that policy went out. The winder.
Yeah, it did.
Tragic.
But I still think I know who you are because you sent me a message, so
Don't
thank
ask.
you. And next is Kelsey Crouch, which is my neighbor. Thank you.
That's nice of her.
You're awesome. Michael Callahan and Mike Fogg.
With 2 G's.
2 G's.
That's pretty cool. I hope that dude's active duty because if he had Fogg for last name, he could be like the most shamming E4. Just always popping like smoke or a fog. God damn it, Fogg. I'm gone. Yeah, first sergeant said PT was at 6, but I had to go to sick call and stuff, so just like I pop smoke.
Yeah. Or in the mornings when it's foggy, he just doesn't show the PT and says, "I was there.
I was there. You guys, you didn't see me? I was like everywhere."
If I had a guy named Fogg,
I would fuck with him hardcore.
well, if he ever came up with that excuse, well, all right, that's valid.
Yeah.
I will let you
10
go.
points Gryffindor.
Yep.
Get your ass back outside to work.
But anyways, thank you to our patrons. You want to talk about your Garand?
Oh, I actually I spaced for a second. I was like, where did I go in life?
So I guess that means this is guns on the table, huh?
Yeah. Gonna talk about the Nazi killer, the gun that won us World War II and the Korean conflict.
Wouldn't that be the gun inside of Batman and Old Boy? Wait, no. There's only one of them was a...
Yeah, one of them was a impact.
Yeah, the other one was different.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not a bomb tech. I'm not gonna pretend to be a bomb tech.
Neither am I.
So that one Garand, right? It's a beautiful weapon.
Yes.
And what I find interesting was the M1A that follows it is a box fed, right? Magazine.
Yeah.
Where this one has the internal magazine, right? That is clip fed.
Yeah.
And during World War II,
they're essentially the same receiver almost, right?
Yeah, they're 100% identical on the top side. What's different is the internal mechanisms down below.
Okay.
And the trigger, to my knowledge, is slightly different, but for overall is the same.
Yeah. Safety is the same.
Yeah, the safety is the same. From what I researched and found was the U.S. Army at the time thought that it would be cheaper and more cost effective to have your weapons clip loaded because you could manufacture clips where I put it
a lot faster as you could.
Yeah.
A box magazine.
And that way if they were left on the battlefield it wasn't a big deal because it was a nickel to manufacture back then. It's right here. Yeah. I'm such an idiot. So yeah, like it's way cheaper to have that.
An actual clip.
Yeah. So when people say, "Yo, dog, hand me that clip," that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because clips load magazines, and the magazine of the M1 Garand is internal.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Army thought it was a better option because during the development of the M1 Garand, there is a variant that later became the M1A when they determined that magazine fed was the way to go.
I think there's an M1 Garand out there that's chambered in 458 Magnum.
Liquid hot Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
It's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than the 30-06, right?
Yeah.
But
it's still a 300 caliber weapon.
But even though that 30-06, man, whew.
It's pretty gangster. I'm actually real impressed when you shot it, and you were able to.
But I'm a bigger dude.
Yeah.
So I have a lot more mass to move, especially down and around my belly area. I got
get in my belly. That's 2 for the day on Austin Powers.
Lots of mass to move, but the one thing that I wasn't prepared for was the steel butt plate.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that.
One of the things that amazes me, because I've shot the Lee Enfield 303, I've shot the Mosin Nagant, right? and I shot.
That's old school. If you remember, if you know what that's referencing, then
that's thank you.
Yeah.
But I shot the Car 98 or the 7mm Mausers, right? So like, I am impressed with not only the quality that was mass produced back then, but just how lethal and accurate all these rifles were, right?
Yeah.
World War II, we were legitimately trying to kill people.
Oh yeah.
Because today, when we compare it with like a 5.56, that's just meant to maim and take a fighter out of the fight. You know, for life saving.
Logistically,
right.
Stop up the the enemy.
Right. Because then I have to have a medic and at least a guy or something help carry a dude off.
Yep.
And you slow down your enemy that way, which that works fine in a conventional sense. But like when we're dealing with ISIS or Al Qaeda, like they don't have medics. Exactly. They're like, good luck.
They just find someone else to indoctrinate.
Hi, you'll do. Here's an AK. Go. But yeah. So I'm just impressed at the overall quality from mass production standpoint. Like, because you had many factories making everything during the war, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't anything I don't think produced for domestic use. Everything was wartime. You know. And unfortunately for this one is an Australian-made receiver. Because I'm sure a lot of people who watch them will be like, "Oh, is that a USGI?"
Yeah, those are pricey. If you want to get
the CMP does have some that came in from the Philippines, and they look pretty good. I just I walked into the local gun store and I jokingly said to the wife, I was like, "Hey, if there's an M1 Garand in here, I'm gonna buy it." And typically, it's not something you find in a gun store. So like, I was 99% confident that like, whatever, I'll just go in and get some ammo like we had planned on. And I walk in and it's no shit sitting on the front display, and nice. I was like, oh my god. And the wood on this one is beautiful. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's obviously reproduction, but so it is Australian made receiver. And at the time I didn't really look too hard into Australian receivers, so the big difference is that these were cast and not forged like the USGI.
Yeah.
So people say that these are worse, but after shooting it, and you shot it, there's not really any issues. The only issue I have with this one is because the wood is not original. So every once in a while, I have a trigger issue, which is going to take me to file out, and figure out the correct angle it needs to be. So the trigger group here it'll try to pop out, and then I got to reseat it, which
really
kind of scary when you have a loaded gun.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some time to work back out because it's a new stock. But I mean, it functions just fine, and it's for what my applications are going to be for this is going to be a safe clean for the most part. You know, a display of like what a beautiful Garand looks like. Cause,
something you bring out for fun and
I want to get a CMP Garand because that is a US made one, and that's the one I will run hard. You know, so you know I don't have the barrel plug that will take other than 150 grain 30-06 for this one, and I don't intend to get one for this one just because
barrel plug.
Yeah, so for the gas port. Because this one can only take 150 grain because it wasn't designed for any more pressure than that.
Gotcha.
So they have an adapter piece that goes in the gas port to accommodate more modern ammunition types. So that's a concern. If you have an M1 Garand out there and you don't have the adapter on the gas block, do not fire anything over 150 grain. Because
gas block that's underneath the barrel as opposed to above.
And that's the other thing is like from technology wise, right? Like the AR-15 has the gas block where the gas travels up and back.
Yeah.
And I feel like that contributes to muzzle rise.
Well, see, with that, a lot of people think that that what happens is the gas goes up, and the gas tube comes down and pushes against the like the gas key, but that's not all what happens. It goes through the gas key down into the actual bolt carrier. And you know how if you take the bolt out of the bolt carrier, you know how it's got that little kind of cutaway, and then you got the gas rings.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the gas comes in down through the bolt carrier, and it pushes against
the little keyhole.
Yeah, it pushes against the bolt, and the pushing against the bolt actually turns the cam and unlocks it. And then pushes the
entire bolt
carrier back to rear. Now I did a video on it actually, talking about, here, let me pull it up real quick, but I did a video talking about how I think that even though it does push and it should be still a linear movement, not off axis, I think there's still a little bit of off-axis movement that happens after the bolt's already unlocked and on its way back, I still think that the gas tube is contacting the gas key, and with that, it's still pushing gases out.
Yeah.
And that can cause a little bit of carrier tilt. Now, in a gas piston gun, it's always going to cause a little carrier tilt because instead of the gas going internally in the bolt, the gas
hits the op rod.
Yeah, the op rod is just pushing on the top.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get carrier tilt.
And speaking of op rod, I do enjoy the M1 Garand design with the op rod. The only downside is the op rod is in a position that most people naturally hold and grip the gun.
Yeah.
So it can bite your fingers there. And the M1A addresses this if you put it in like an aftermarket stock, like the Sage EBR stock, that has a little cover for you to naturally hold it and get comfortable.
Okay, I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Well, here's how. And I did all the animations myself, so I'm kind of stupid intro.
That I found on YouTube and various websites. I rewatched it after I got a lot of comments, and it does seem like I was saying that the gas only hits the gas key, and that is what pushes the bolt back and cycles it. However, that's not the case. So with that, let's get into a lot more detail on an AR-15 bolt cycle. Alright, the trigger is pulled, the hammer falls and hits the firing pin. The firing pin strikes it.
Bang.
Now first, I got this right here to show, but then I also got what the bolt looks like.
Yeah.
And that little white box is the cam.
Okay.
And top on, so.
Yeah, I can see that.
On the round, igniting.
Yeah, I see the extractor too.
Yeah.
The high pressure gas from the explosion inside the case pushes the round down through the barrel. When that gas hits the gas block, it travels up to the gas tube, travels down the gas tube to the bolt carrier gas key. There the gas travels back and down into the expansion chamber. When the gas hits the expansion chamber, it does what the name implies. It is allowed to expand by pushing the bolt in this area here, forcing the bolt carrier rearward. The rearward travel of the bolt carrier forces the cam pin of the bolt to move in the cam slot of the carrier, allowing the bolt to turn and unlock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now the motion of the cam turning the bolt and thus pushing the bolt carrier rearward is where a lot of people assume that the gas from the direct impingement doesn't apply any more force on the top of the carrier at the gas key, while the bolt unlocks and drives the bolt carrier group to the rear.
Yeah, look how far that spring gets compressed.
The gas behind the bolt provides the inertia for the cam pin to rotate and unlock the bolt.
Well, here's a mistake in my animation. Notice this is a carbine, but notice that buffer is a rifle.
Yeah, for like a M16A2.
Yeah, so that's where I messed up. It should be a carbine
it's okay.
buffer.
I mean, you get the idea.
Yeah.
But everybody else will probably make comments.
And as the bolt carrier group drives to the rear, there's still gas flowing to the gas tube, carrier key, and expansion chamber. So even though...
But see, now, the fact on whether or not there's gas still flowing through the tube into the gas key there depends on the dwell time.
Right.
The dwell time is from where the gas is siphoned away from where the bolt or the bullet exits the muzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So your dwell time is from there to the muzzle.
To forward, yeah.
Yeah, so there could be still gas coming through, and I show a high-speed video that actually shows the extra puff.
There's still forces being applied to the gas key for the gas that continues to flow through. Okay, so seeing as how I don't have a high-definition, high-speed camera capable of recording a bolt cycle at the frames per second needed to really see what's going on.
That's why I need more patrons.
I found a good clip. So after the trigger's pulled, you see the bolt carrier start to move rearward, and you'll see the gas venting from the expansion chamber in the bolt carrier. Now, once you can see the bolt is completely unlocked,
more gas comes
out.
Pulling the brass, you'll see another puff of gas coming out of those vent holes.
And it's already unlocked.
There's still gas flowing through the gas tube into the gas key.
And it hits that.
Now, with gas still coming through that gas tube, isn't it reasonable to assume that the gas is flying?
Of course, it's reasonable to assume, but
good point, Derek.
But I mean, that looks like it could be like a service rifle almost. You know,
Yes.
and with that, they're going to overgas their stuff to make it reliable.
Right. Because they're not
They're not three gunners and want
Right.
the perfect impulse. So
where they don't care about the terminal ballistics. They just
Yeah.
need it to be accurate.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my little video.
That's
My
a really
first-
good video, man.
My first foray into actual
Oh.
doing a.
$15 word.
Ooh, shit.
Today's coupon code is 4A.
Oh, that'd be funny. But no, I mean, that was my first little dabble into like actually doing animation. I had to do animation when I was in college, and the animation they had us do was stupid.
Oh yeah, it's not fun.
I had no interest in it because it was
Yeah.
stupid. So I did my own animations.
Here, we're going to animate a hammer and sickle on a star. Okay, guys? That's our project this week. Make it
No.
look good.
When I did the animations that I chose to do, that I've been doing, yeah, they liked them.
That I've been done.
Like, what's funny is like I had to, like I think I brought the before I put it in this video. I brought this animation to school for one of the projects, and I was like, "Here's my animation." They're like, "Yep, there's stuff moving, but we don't understand it." So I'm like, "Okay." So I went in front of class. I'm like, "Okay, this is this is this." Like, oh, you know a lot. I'm like, not really, but
No, I read FM 3-. I've actually forgot. Is it 3-9.22? I think so.
yeah. The thing is, the reason why I made this video and the animation is because the video prior I was talking about a specific specific buffer, and it seemed like I had implied that it only hits the gas key,
Yeah.
and that's what pushes the bolt back and everything. But that wasn't it. So I had to, okay. So everyone doesn't know I'm a dumbass. I got to make this shit up. So
And then we just pull up the Dragon's Breath video for evidence.
dumbass. No.
Why always bringing up old shit, man?
What's funny, like, look at this right here. Like, this kind of, I don't know. I think this is maybe not a service weapon, because if you look at this magazine, this has to be one of those California compliant. You know, you gotta
maybe
put the
because
pin in.
look at yeah, you see the magazine releases that we're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah,
Because
that or he just didn't. I don't know.
a lot of people don't understand it. And I remember when I was a younger gun guy, I didn't understand it either. I was like, why are they putting all these ribs and stuff in the receiver? Here, like these ribs here and
Yeah.
this one right here. This here is to contain the spring and the detent for this
Right.
pivot pin, but this here is to safeguard your magazine release.
So you don't inadvertently.
So if
Yeah.
you do it like that, it doesn't. So that's why you have to thread in your magazine release enough so that when it's not depressed, that it doesn't fall over.
That, yeah, because
Over that
otherwise,
edge.
if you drop it, you drop your mag. Because that would be annoying to drop a gun and be like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah. So
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that is a California compliant
it has to be.
weapon. I mean, it looks aesthetically similar to a service rifle, right? Because it's
Yeah.
got the same rail system.
I mean, if it was really a service, you would probably have that
Got it.
stupid rear sight there,
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a rear sight. Yeah,
and it would have. These don't look like
and that optic would have been safety wired for no fucking reason.
safety wires. What?
You didn't? Yeah, dude. Like
No.
in the arms room, every optic was safety wired. I shit you not.
That's a
Doesn't
board,
make any sense why you'd safety wire those.
that's a board tango having to do an armorer's job.
Probably.
Oh my god, dude.
Like every ACOG, every EOTech, any M68, everything was just safety wired on there. And it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, what? just tighten it down.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the M1 Garand was the reason we probably won the war. Because when we look at the Lee Enfield 303 and we look at the Kar 98, and I forget what the Japanese had in the Pacific, but those were all bolt action weapons,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you could fire a bolt action accurately. You can fire it pretty quickly, right? In comparison to a muzzle loader or black powder rifles, right? Because that was the next advancement up. But the M1 Garand allowed U.S. troops to dominate because we could put a higher rate of fire down, right? So
Yeah, for everyday
so
your
especially in
infantry
the
riflemen.
right. So
yeah.
every squad essentially became capable of out firing and maneuvering. Because we look at World War II tactics, we establish our base of fire. This is where we come up with even modern day conventional warfare, right? Base of fire and a flanking element. And we were able to do that with just rifles. In the European theater, the Germans had the MG42, right? The MG43, and those machine guns were very deadly. But that's all they had that could, put out a lot of rate of fire.
Well, they had
and then our answer was the bar in the 1919.
We also had they had the Sturmgewehr, but
right, that was later in the war, and
it wasn't widely in
right,
use. It was like the special guys had the Sturmgewehrs.
And it was kind of left in Berlin, so we didn't see large quantities of them until we got into Berlin.
You heard that story about that lady that went to a gun buyback program, dropped off a freaking original Sturmgewehr?
What?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, if I was the police officer that
I would have made sure that that's a piece of history.
I'd have been, no.
That's a relic.
No, you keep that, or at least save it. I'll come buy it from you.
Later.
Tonight.
Yeah.
I will come buy it. I will give you $500. Not $200, $500,
Damn. I did not hear about that.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Like I don't know. Some people don't get into collecting it. It took me a while to get into the collector phase of guns because I started off with, like being in the Army, I want an M4 and I want an M9.
Yeah.
And then I found out that the Beretta's 92FS is far superior than any M9 I've ever been issued.
Well, because the M9 you get issued has been freaking
beat up since forever. Yeah.
Worn out.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get a nicer barrel in one of the issue M9s. You're still going to shoot.
Well, you'll shoot consistent.
Yeah.
And you just have to learn, because they were fixed sights on the slide, you have to learn where
it hits. Yeah.
Where your pistol hits. And that's the big problem with the M9, in my opinion, is if I suddenly need to use my buddies for whatever reason in a combat situation, I'm going to be like, fuck, where do I aim?
Yeah, I think there was a I'm trying to think of it's funny to say, I'm trying to think of my days at the range. I'm not that old, but it's been a while. Holy crap!
I was talking with some younger service members yesterday. Jesus Christ, I'm old.
Did they give us a few rounds to familiarize before the range start?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
at least that's how they did it in our
the pop-up ranges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I did pop-up ranges.
Because it was just a large black silhouette. You were 10 meters away, and you were just going to sit there and shoot and get a feel for where your pistol hits.
No, these are the plastic items.
Yeah, that pop up. Yeah. That's what we did, because we went over to the regular 0.25 meter range, right?
Well, see, yeah, that's here. That's
here.
Here.
That's how we did it.
Regular Army.
Yeah.
They just popped up an Ivan. I'm all right.
See where you hit?
Boom. You pop. All right, I got it.
Part of the problem with the Beretta, though, is it was designed more of a showpiece. It was never meant for an offensive combat type weapon. It was meant for just to have on your hip.
It's pretty lightweight.
Yeah.
I didn't like it for that reason. So
I mean,
so is a Glock in all sense, but if you think of all aluminum frame, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if it was a steel frame, it would have felt better. The new Walther that just came out.
The Berettas, for me, my hands are not the biggest and they're not the smallest. I'm pretty, hate to say it, average. So for me, the Beretta was just slightly too big. And I don't know, I never felt comfortable carrying it. It was always on my, you're supposed to carry, was it 210 rounds of 5.56 and then 45 M9? I would have been fine with just one bullet, for me, if I ever had to use it.
What's funny is a lot of, when I was in regular Army, a lot of people didn't fully trust the decocker in the M9.
Oh, I completely understand why.
Yeah. And my first year in the Army, crewing, that's your primary, so.
That in a 240?
Well.
From the air only?
I had a M60D. Yeah. For the first year, I think, I didn't realize that was also a decocker. I knew it was a safety, but I didn't know that it would safely decock M9.
Yeah.
For a while. And then Platoon Sergeant's like, oh yeah, click. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. But if you look at it
and the way it works internally,
it rotates the pin so that it's not going to hit.
Fire.
Yeah.
I mean, from a design standpoint, it makes sense because now most modern pistols that aren't Glock that have decocks.
The hammer-fired pistols should have a decocker. If it doesn't, then you're like, ooh.
I don't think I will ever carry something that's not a hammer.
I don't
personally.
I don't like 1911s.
I love 1911s, man.
You know why I don't?
That's such a great gun.
You know why I don't?
Why? Oh, because you're lefty.
No, only one hand. Because they have like ambidextrous, well, they have ambidextrous stuff on 1911s, but it's just the fact that to disassemble it is quite a bit of work for one-handed. Like Glock,
even with two hands, disassembly of 1911 can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Because my springs, my 1911 are still like
pretty stout.
Yeah, pretty stout. Those are some good quality springs, and it's still a lot of work for me to disassemble mine. Which, that was a time period piece too. But getting back to the M1 Garand.
We're going to have to take that out to the range and shoot it. And for those of you that remember old school videos of ours, I did a couple pistol POVs. Like I want to do more POV type shooting, like what it looks like to
actually shoot the gun.
Yeah, I mean everyone's played like,
Call of Duties
and like kind of knows, but
it's just a cool angle. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, I absolutely love shooting my M1 Garand here.
Yeah, it was fun to shoot that time, but it really hurt because I didn't.
It was also really cold too,
and I didn't know where to put the buttstock, right? So I'm just holding it like, okay, cool, and it was right against my collarbone.
Yeah.
And that butt plate, man. Ooh.
Yeah, because it's all steel. Like I said, dude, this was designed to kill. Like whether you put a bayonet on it, it becomes a spear. Like the butt stroke,
yeah.
that's a skull cracker for sure. Yeah.
You could swing that thing like a bat and probably be fine.
It's similar in weight and feel to a bat if you hold it there and swing. It's really similar. Like, because I think in the American Army they had that. Everybody knew a baseball.
Yeah.
Everybody knew a bat. Because even our hand grenades took the form of a baseball. I don't know what.
Which are deceptively heavy.
Yeah. Well, they're dense as fuck.
Well, yeah, I know.
Especially the modern M67.
Well, the funny thing is when I went through basic in 99.
1999.
Yeah. When we went through the grenade course, we were given, those trainer grenades that just have a little cap.
Yeah.
And
hey, good job, Private. Next.
But they still had the weight.
Oh, of a real one. Yeah.
Of a real one. Anyways, they're trying to get us to do the little grenade course and throw it in the
box, right?
In the box or the circle.
Yeah.
The tape circle. And then you got little plastic items on the other side. And everybody was kind of good. And like I say kind of good, but like the guys had enough, to throw those in the kind of mid-range targets. And then at the end, we had that long-range target to hit. Everyone was like, oh, yeah. And then you would come up like
short,
half the distance. Yeah. You're like, what? I threw that hard enough.
It's a finesse thing.
And then what's funny is a general was coming down to see all the training going on. He was like, and he was standing like another half distance behind where we were throwing. And he's like, give me one. They hand him one. He's like, whew. And he gets it right in the center of that thing. And and he's like, walks off.
I still got it. And he was sweating. He's probably like, oh, thank God that worked.
Exactly. And the drill sergeants were like, that's why he's a general. And
yeah. Like, what do you say at that point? Fuck, you just showed me up.
Yeah. Like, wait, I could be a general if I did that? Give me 5 other tries right now.
Yeah, when I did the grenade course at basic, I was one of the last guys to go. And so there's a surplus of grenades. That he's like, fuck, right open the crate. So the one drill sergeant, he liked me. He's like, here. He sets down 6 in front of me. I'm like, holy fuck, everybody else just threw 2. He's like, you ready? Do it. So I threw it and I hit the small target. Not a bit. I threw the second one at the long target. And it completely obliterated. So there's no more targets on the field.
There was no targets on our grenade field.
Well, we had something there. And nobody was able to hit it. But I hit, the last guy of me hits the far target. And so then I had 4 grenades. And I'm like, what do I aim at? He goes, fuck, I don't know. Just throw them, dude.
Well, take it back. I don't know if we had targets or not. I just know the live grenade range. They hyped it up like it was the most dangerous thing to ever do
It potentially could be.
It potentially could have been, but only for 2 people.
Yeah, the one in the pit with you.
I mean, if you were, once they gave you the grenades in the little cans, once they gave you, if you moved your hands like you were opening it, you were gonna get wrecked.
Up, yeah.
So I mean, that's the only way it could be dangerous for more people than just 2.
Yeah.
But I remember them just yelling, "All right, pull the pin or pull the clip, pull the pin,
pop the spoon, assume the position, chuck it."
Yeah, and that's it. And then they like
Duck,
they grabbed us and threw us the fuck down.
Why are you looking at a grenade, Private? Like, because I want to see it on TV.
So we're like fuck, you know. I really didn't get that experience. I mean, I felt the concussion, but that was it. And there was a girl,
female.
There was a female soldier that was during the practice courses. She pulled the pin, but she forgot the clip.
Oh, so she didn't sweep the spoon?
Yeah. So she just threw it, so the spoon stayed on there. So the drill sergeant just goes, picks it up, flicks the clip off of it, lets the lets the spoon fly off, and rolls it back to her. And she's already crouched down, like holding her ears like it's going to be some loud thing. It was just a little firecracker, like what the fuck. Anyways, it rolls right here, and the opening. No, it popped, and a little bit of the firecracker thing popped her in the cheek, and she started crying.
Oh,
she wasn't even bleeding, but she started crying. And that same chick on the live grenade range, they split us into 2 lines.
I would not have given her a live grenade after that.
Well, they split us into 2 lines, right? So I'm on one side, and she's like right across me from on the other side. And they give us our grenades, and they're like shaking us, like, "You don't let these go. Yeah. You will kill everybody."
The fear of God was put in me that day.
Yeah, they gave it to her, and they're like, the guy was like picking her. She was like real small. He was picking her up, like, you know, oh my God, you're gonna kill everybody, and dropped her back down. And she was fucking bawling, dude. And I was like,
I do remember.
I was like, are you serious?
Like, I shot a gun before the Army, so when I got an M4,
not me,
or M16 actually,
yeah.
like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like I didn't feel really powerful. When they handed me those 2 grenades, suddenly I was like, I'm motherfucking God, dude. Like, I can kill everybody here. Don't give a fuck how big you are. Yeah. This is the greatest equalizer of life.
I got to shoot.
And then I shot the AT-4.
Yeah, I got to shoot the AT-4 in basic.
And the Claymore. Just a lot. And then
after
I didn't
basic, get to do a Claymore.
Oh, dude,
Claymores you went to
fun. I went to Benning.
Yeah.
Home of the infantry. Huh?
Yeah, I got to do the AT-4, which is badass. Somebody else that was below me got to do, because they went by BRM up to that point, because we hadn't really qualified, but they were just, you know, I was the highest ranking in BRM at the time, and then the guy below me who beat me on the actual qualification range, well, he got to shoot the Modus.
Oh, we got to shoot that too. But, and the Mark 19. We had a lot of fun in basic infantry. Like,
we didn't get the Mark 19, man. We got
Fort Benning basic training is dope as fuck. At least when I went through, because we got to shoot almost everything in the fucking arms room.
Yeah, I got to shoot the 203, but everyone did. Everyone got to do the 203.
I was actually surprised that like it felt like a shotgun, the 203, like thunk.
Yeah.
And I didn't really quite know how to aim it. You know, like nobody really knows the first time. And I got a lucky shot off, and it went through the window. And the was like, "Damn, Private, that's pretty good." Next, I'm like, "Can I get it?" I don't really know how I did that.
Yeah.
And then I never touched one again.
Yeah, they didn't even flip out the sights for us.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. He's like, "Shoot it!" Like he didn't give a fuck.
I shot it. I didn't hit. There was some APC out there on the range, and I didn't hit it. Some other kids hit it. I see the blue chalk. But yeah. Now the Mark 19, I would like to.
Oh my God, that's fun. Between the M2 and the Mark 19, I really honestly can't say what is more fun to shoot. Because there's something to say about shooting a 50 cal and then shooting the Mark 19, like that
Mark
shit
19
that blows up.
Yeah, Mark 19 is like redonkulous. Like
that is the pinnacle of stupid technology.
A full auto grenade launcher.
It's belt fed. That's all I gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
You know? Give me something belt fed.
One thing I always looked at, I'm like, man, that like linked ammo, you know, is pretty. It's not super rigid, but it's flexible to a point, and then it's 203 stuff is like, oh, whatever, you know. It's so like, I'll go in there any way you want. and still blow shit up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like, since we were talking about World War II type stuff with the M1 Garand, like, I know the 1919s, you know, the M2s back then, they used canvas on their belts.
Yeah.
Which that blows my mind. Introducing fabric to moving machined metal parts. Like, that's a good idea, guys.
Yeah.
But it was cheap. It was effective.
Yeah. I got a friend with he's got 2 1919s.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
But they're not like, not full auto. But he's got them on a crank.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a one of those British armed vehicles, little ferret.
I don't think I know that one.
It's like a Humvee that's like a fully armored.
Oh yeah,
with a little turret up on top, and I went to machinist school with him, so he was machining all of his parts to get the 1919s hooked up together on a crank on the turret. Yeah. He's also the guy that built my AK.
Okay.
So we'll probably go up there
and visit.
Yeah. Talk to him.
Say what's up.
Learn some AK stuff.
Yeah.
I told you about that video about the M1 Garand where they, everyone has everyone's heard of the whole, as soon as you're empty, the clip, the ting.
Ting, yeah. As a shooter, I will tell you, I have yet to hear it.
Well,
when I observe somebody shooting, like to the side, I can hear it faintly, but I could imagine. I mean, I referenced there's a World War II vet that did a talk on it. He said it was all bullshit, that you would never hear it.
Well, there's a video on YouTube.
Oh yeah, of some like
there's
Australian
a guy
or New Zealander. He's definitely foreign.
Yeah, he's foreign, and he's shooting, and he wants to test.
He has his buddy run.
His buddy's on the outside of the rifle range thing.
He has to run into the bunker essentially.
Yeah, so he shoots, and his buddy doesn't know how many rounds he has until he's empty.
Right.
So he'll shoot, and then he's empty, and it goes ping, and his buddy only comes if he hears the ping.
Yeah, and then he stops if he hears shooting to simulate him getting out of a trench and running towards the position. Yeah.
So at no point was he able to come in,
right,
and be like bang to his friend before his friend was able to
reload. And fire. And he even fumble fucked a few, if I remember right, because he wasn't really like, he didn't train with it. He just was like, basically what would have happened in World War II, like, here, you'll do, son. Haircut, uniform, rifle, go to war.
Yeah, you get people that train and do like the speed
the soldiers
shots.
Trained up before they left. Yeah, and this was very versatile. I'm sure in some instances there would have been, opposition could have heard the pings, depending on where they were position wise. Sure, that potentially is plausible.
Acoustics is funny sometimes.
Yeah, it's plausible.
Yeah.
But when we realistically look at it, as me shooting it, the only way I know it's empty is because I see the op rod lock back to the rear and I feel the trigger.
Yeah.
Because you always follow through. That's why you always practice good fundamentals. So you get that mushy trigger and it didn't reset. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's empty.
Funny enough, what I want to do soon is take my my cousin Rigo out.
Mm-hmm.
He's having some problems with handgun. Like what I found out this last time is he's jerking the trigger. At least I think he's jerking the trigger. But I want him to get that, like,
that nice smooth transition.
We were starting to teach him about reset.
Mm-hmm.
Like hold the trigger back. Now let it go slowly.
Hear the click. Feel the click. Yeah.
And then pull back. And he started to type, like, he started to be like, oh, okay, where'd you hit? I don't know where you hit. And then it's like, oh, now you're on paper. Okay. Now he's in a.
Yeah. The best thing I could say for that is, remember how we put the dowel rods inside our M16s at basic, and we had the dimes.
Oh yeah.
That's the best thing you can do for jerking trigger.
But handgun though.
Yeah, you just take.
So I don't think he has a problem with rifle. I think it's just the and I think
take a plastic coat hanger, cut it out, make sure it should be about the same diameter, and you just put a nickel or whatever on there.
What I think is like what he used to do, and I think he still does a little bit, is he used to anticipate the recoil and try to counteract that recoil.
That's very common.
So. And that's why everything he shoot was low. And then it's like every time I tell him like, hey, just relax,
yeah.
Let it recoil. Just don't let it fly out of your hand. Just so. But that sounds like this has been a good episode of
Guns on the Table. Yeah. I wish we had more historical pieces to talk about because I do enjoy talking about history, and I'm not like an expert on it because I just fairly recently got it back in November. I'm I like World War II and I like history, but specific M1 Garand stuff I haven't really looked too deep into, other than the fact that I know that it's not USGI.
Well, you can bring it back. Like I said,
We can do like an update.
TJ is a walking.
Oh, one thing I will say that annoys me is I was looking at the load bearing equipment that they used to wear. So for a reproduction belt is suspenders, just so I could have like a good reload, because it's hard to find something modern to put on like a Molly vest or whatever, just to have fun and run and gun. They want like $300 for a reproduction.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I don't know how far I'm gonna go with that. It might just be a
It's like
flannel pocket only.
It's like maybe I should have kept my old LBE load bearing equipment.
Yeah,
because
it's kind of funny when we look at like the old Alice equipment and we compare it with what they had in World War II.
It's very similar.
Very close.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're in the 80s now, early 90s now. We're cool. Like, wait, what?
It still worked. Yeah.
This is still World War II
tech
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's funny is when I was still in regular Army before I got to regiment, one of our flight platoon sergeants, he went out and bought his own like LBV, the vest, because that was like the cool guy stuff
shit.
back then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got the vest.
Yeah.
I didn't got those stupid suspenders.
Idiot.
Vest. And we all looked at him like, damn, dude,
that's so cool.
I think I want to go get a vest. You know, aviation. What do I need a vest for?
I don't know.
I wore my LBE over my flight suit,
and that's one of the things I'll say now that I'm out.
That's some of the dumbest looking shit right there. Wearing a pickle suit.
Yeah, with a vest.
LBE.
Yeah. Now that I'm out, like, I still practice with a plate carrier, right?
Yeah.
But logistically, I guess it doesn't make sense anymore, right? Because if we're talking like home defense, it takes quite a few seconds to put on a vest.
Yeah.
So like the best thing I could do is just have a bat belt, right? A battle belt with suspenders, and just go.
Yeah.
You know. So that's kind of where my thinking's going to as I evolve, going from warfighter to couch commando.
Yeah.
It's a tough path to revert back to just keyboard warriors.
I have some years ahead on you on that.
Yeah.
So, like right now, I just have my pistol on my bed. You know, your pistol is to fight towards your rifle.
Yeah.
You get your rifle and you go. Well, I'll probably pick the little pistol AR, because right now that's the best. Like handling wise, it's the perfect size, perfect weight where I can sit there and really
get your John Wick on.
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
John Wick.
But I guess we'll close the gun segment with I think it was Patton that said the M1 Garand was the greatest invention of World War II. Paraphrasing, of course. You know, because everybody talks about Patton's tanks, but this is what won us the war.
In Europe.
And in the Pacific, it was mostly carbines and flamethrowers.
And nuclear arsenals.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Kaboom. Oh, we're talking about weaponry.
I could go on a tangent right now.
I was thinking, like, when we talked about the grenades, I was going to bring this up, like, the British had, like, that aerosol can, that style of a grenade.
Didn't they still have the sticks, or was that Germans?
That's the Germans.
Germans had the sticks.
I don't understand, like, the grenade on a stick doesn't seem like it's ergonomic and easy to throw. Plus, you had to pull a string on the bottom, so you had to pull the string and then throw it. I don't know, maybe they were thinking like a tomahawk or a hatchet. Is that something that would have been native for them? Yeah.
Motion makes it easier to lob into.
I don't know. To me, it seems more logical and easier. Maybe it's just my American bias, but like a small little ball, I can control that easier on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe an alternate universe, we had the grenade on a stick.
Maybe.
Oof.
Ooh, yeah, that gets. Yeah. We'll spare you guys from that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's guns on the table.
Bye.